Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us from wherever in the world you are. Today we'll be discussing more climate matters, and in particular, a very promising solution, a solution for carbon sequestration, carbon drawdown, a solution for reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I have with me three guests. We'll introduce them as we go. The project that we're talking about is called the Emission Zero Global Project, the emblem you can see up above. My associate with me is the originator of this project, has been spending 17 years of his life on it. This is his son, who has grown up with these trees that we will introduce you to. And another Thai associate who is a PhD in environmental engineering from MIT, who will comment also during our brief time with you. My name is Stuart Scott. I'm an ecological advisor to Be Green Forestry Limited. There's our website. And this is my email address if you have any questions. We have been talking about climate change for decades. In that time, we have seen an increasing number of extreme weather events of all kinds, not just snow, but rain and hail in the tropics, winds. We're just showing two shots of unusual snow, 8 feet of snow, almost 3 meters of snow in Boston this past winter. That's why we don't call it global warming anymore, but climate change, because the climate has destabilized through our activities. But what have we done? We have discussed the matter. We've seen flooding, rains that are more than the rivers can carry away. What have we done? We've discussed the matter. We've seen landslides, loss of huge amounts of property and life. And what have we done? More discussion. Droughts, the other side of the coin. Huge droughts in parts of the world, the death of livestock and crops, rivers going dry unusually. What have we done? More discussion. Wildfires. When you have drought, forests get dry, and lightning can set them off, or careless smokers can set them off. Wildfires caused in increasing frequency, caused by climate change. And we have discussed the matter. Human and animal epidemics, through the increased range of the bacteria and viruses that cause them, and the carriers, the parasites, all matters of climate change, and we have discussed them. Superstorms, like these two tornadoes. And I don't even have a good slide in here of the hurricanes we've seen: Haiyan, Sandy, Katrina, huge loss of life. And we have dutifully discussed this. We have a forum for discussing such things. It's time to stop discussing and start acting. Now, I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, Chanasnun Kadron Puapong, who's the president of the Be Green Group.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Scott, for your introduction. I have opportunity to join the International Conference for Climate Change and World Disaster for last few years. All we talk about the climate change and try to find a way to solve the trouble. Now maybe it's not the right way. For my opinion, the way to solve the global warming, to fight climate change, just have two ideas. One is the emission reduction, and another one is carbon drawdown. But now what we do now is we try to set up mandate a treaty, and by donate, and maybe we have non-cooperation by the big countries like the last protocol, because it's weak and too slow to solve that trouble. Can we change our mind, just do it commercially and profitable to become the business?
We're not saying stop negotiating a treaty, but if the business community had a real solution, that would be strong and fast.
Yes. So for my life, I spent my long life, around 17 years, for some R&D research for climate change, fight global warming. And one of our products we presented now today as our flagship project by our staff here. And maybe this is new way for sharing today, okay?
Yes. This is all based around a tree, an extremely fast-growing tree that has been developed by my friend Janusnan. And Pongpath Kadronpurpong, who is Managing Director of Be Green Forestry, will now discuss the tree a bit.
First of all, dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pongpath Kadronpurpong, the Managing Director of Be Green Forestry.
And we also have with us Dr. Chanathip Parino. As I said, she is, did I pronounce your last name wrong?
Perfect.
Okay. She's assistant professor currently at Chulalongkorn University and has a PhD in environmental engineering from MIT.
Pleasure to be here as well.
It is my great honor to be here to announce you about something special, something we dedicated our life for almost 2 decades to succeed. It was created to tackle climate change sustainably and permanently. It is the miracle tree. And before you know about our miracle tree, please let me introduce our footprint. I remember I get involved with the tree when I was a child. I have seen my father keep planting every day, day to night. And I kept wondering what he did until I saw the first miracle tree was planted on the ground.
We call it a miracle tree. You know, it was undiscovered perhaps because it was a weed tree. It grew too fast.
So this is the land preparation of our tree. We planted our tree in a different area to identify the survivability of our tree in the different climate. This is our 2-year tree, 77 centimeters circumference.
77 centimeters in how long? How long did that take to grow?
About 15 meters high.
But how long?
2 years. This is 2 years.
2 years.
This is 2 years.
2 years.
Only yes. 2 years. And this is our 3-year tree, 35 centimeters diameter, with approximate weight 1 ton. As you can see, the various agencies and organizations came to our plant field to prove our tree in Thailand.
Can you imagine about the tree?
The incredibly fast-growing tree. I have seen these live. I've seen the plantations. How tall was that tree approximately?
This is 15 meters high.
How long did it take to grow?
This 3 years. This one, 3 years only.
3 years of growth.
Yes, and the weight is 1 ton.
We'll compare that. We'll ground that in a comparison with another commercially developed, commercially used tree later on in our slides.
Okay.
This picture shows you even it was cut, it can grow up again. It generates itself no matter how many times we cut it. There are extraordinary root structure to absorb more minerals, absorb more water, and to strengthen the tree.
If I may, before you go on,
okay.
The root structure is obviously very important to a tree, and it's part of why the tree is a miracle. It develops very quickly a very strong root structure that has the habit of drawing in moisture very efficiently. The moisture goes up by day through transpiration, through photosynthesis, and down by night. And it enriches the soil around it. It creates a very diverse biological community around it because of this habit.
And this photo, take this photo last month. This is 4 years old.
4-year-old tree.
Yes, trees.
It's also
you see the root network. It's the best for protect landslide.
very good stabilizing against landslides, so it's adaptable to many different terrains.
This is our seeds. Our seeds are carefully contained in a can to prevent from the moisture and the very temperature.
They've been working on this for quite a while. They hermetically seal the seeds for storage.
And finally, we name our miracle tree to our last name, Khajon Puapong tree. It is softwood, medium large tree, broad crown, straight cylindrical trunk, self-pruning.
If I may, self-pruning, you don't have to go in and prune it back. It drops its lower branches in a very efficient fashion, so it's very easy to manage a forest of these trees.
You see, this is we planting in the dry season, okay, between the rubber tree plantation.
This was intercropped
Still
with
green.
rubber trees, yes.
Yes, still green. In the same time, the rubber tree has no leaf already. It's gone already. Yes.
And notice the size of those leaves. How old are those sprouts?
This is 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Yes.
One of the habits of the tree is the huge leaves, which help it grow fast.
We plant in dry season.
The leaves also protect the ground around it as a live mulch from sunlight evaporating water, so it actually enriches the ground.
Like yellowish pulp, enormous young leaves, and extraordinary root structure. And this is to show you how much water flows in our tree. Under the photosynthetic process, the water flow up by day and flow down by night.
You see, Scott, you see.
This
water.
was a log that was cut about 5 or 10 minutes before?
Around 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes, and the water just pours out of it. Again, this is a demonstration of how much water it absorbs up during the day.
So, according to such a unique characteristic of Khajon Puapong trees, it creates many benefits, including with the big leaves, it provides such a large surface structure, taking up energy from the sun. And also, its extensive root structure, therefore, it makes a high photosynthesis rate and high carbon absorption rate. This tree is such a great machine for carbon dioxide fixation. Root structure, it retains the moisture, as some of you already discussed about it, from the surrounding, and not only that, it generates oxygen gas to the nearby environment as well. So the forest full of this tree, it is such a good natural air conditioning. So importantly, it provides great environment to enrich well-being of biological community nearby, above and below the ground.
And this is important because one of the problems in a drying world is going to be maintaining the rich soil structure, and this tree assists with that.
Just few period, just 2 years, 3 years, it can change, improve the soil to become rich quality.
So it can take depleted soils and improve the biological richness of the soil in just a couple of years.
Yes, and of course, with such a high growth rate, it can be a significant source of biomass feedstock. So many people who knows about and talked about green economies knows that throughout the entire life cycles of bioenergy business, of course, it creates numerous jobs.
If I can stop, may I interject something?
Yep.
One of the issues we have now with the fossil fuel companies not wanting to yield to renewable energies, when you compare the number of jobs created by renewable energy technologies, you find there are higher rates of job creation than fossil fuel jobs. But the business as usual mentality and those who control it just won't let go. This project has the promise of creating lots of local jobs because the local people will be where we plant these trees, will be the ones to maintain the managed forest projects. And I don't think we show this in our slides, but the concept is to have natural forest reserves side by side with managed forests, so that there's a local ecological enjoyment and appreciation, as well as high rate of job creation.
Yes, thanks God for elaborations. And of course, throughout the entire life cycle of bioenergy business, so it creates numerous jobs from plantation, harvesting to energy production with low skill and high skill worker jobs. So this is very important to help increasing income and reducing inequalities. So this tree, of course, help addressing climate change mitigation, energy security problems together at the same time. So farming out this tree become important carbon sources for carbon dioxide offset in comparison to fossil fuel energy. Most important, it is unlimited. It's renewable. And from all the environmental sustainability perspective, there are so many co-benefits from planting the trees. One of that, it could serve as green belts.
Yes.
And
for this reason, for unlimited
yes.
renewable energy, next time we no need to talk to the world that we save energy to save the world. That is not the right word from now on. Okay, we use more energy because of we have energy from carbon dioxide. We trap it.
I think what he's saying, let me mention that.
Okay.
Because I had a hard time getting my head around that. But since the energy production will be from creating a pyrolyzed source of liquid fuels out of this tree biomass, about 20% will be carbon that will be buried again, biochar. So the more energy we use, this renewable energy, the more char will be buried. So it's almost as if you want to use more energy because there's a 20% carbon drawdown with the energy that you use.
Yes.
of course, there are so many co-benefits, right? But this is, I mentioned only one of many. So green belts is one of example that we can create green area in urbanization and also the protection from industrial development, that kinds of thing.
If you think about it, the tropical zone of the planet is going to be heating the most. It's the hottest part of the planet. That'll be creating droughts. Here's a tree that can create a tropical green belt for creating cooler environments in forests, in and around forests, another co-benefit.
Thank you. So from all of the just mentioned benefit, so I think this tree can be one of the miracle as an environmental, social, and economic solution for us all. So I hand over to you, Scott.
Thank you so much for sweet words, Napa. Okay.
So this is our innovation. We also invented our own unique biofertilizer to increase the growth rate of our tree. And it is used in our project only, not for sale. Currently, we apply to Guinness World Record for the new world fastest growing tree and the new world highest biomass yield. And next, please come back to our president. He will present about the commercial value of our project.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And now we come to talk about the commercial value of this tree. This is maybe this is new ecologically a game-changing tree with a superior commercial value. Yes, now last year we come some VIP come to check to visit our plantation in Thailand. We cut this tree. This is 3 years old tree with a 969 kilogram, not including stump. And then average we check our tree is 680 kilogram per tree per 10 tree. Cut it down means if we use 300 kilogram per tree in hectare, we get yield is 1,000 ton per 3 years per hectare. Compare with this is eucalyptus hybrid.
This is what I said before. We'll compare with one of the world's standards in fast tree growth, eucalyptus.
Yes, this is a biomass feedstock. It's main feedstock for biomass. The crop of eucalyptus is 7 years, and maximum yield is 180 metric ton per hectare per crop, 7 years. Means 25 metric ton per year. You convert to become the US dollar by, we calculate by wood chip price, 25 US dollar per metric ton is 625 US dollar per hectare per year. And this is a Malaysian popular plantation, is palm oil. The maximum yield for palm oil
maximum yields we're
maximum
talking now.
oil is maximum is 5 metric ton per year. We convert to income in US dollar is 3,440 US dollar per hectare per year. And this is our tree, Khajon Phuapong tree. This is the minimum.
Minimum this time.
This is minimum. It's around 200 to 300 kilograms per tree. But real we make 1 ton in our R&D plantation. Now means yield is 330 metric ton per year, and the crop is 3 years only. This is income is 8,250 US dollar per year.
This is if it were sold as wood chips.
Yes, wood chip.
But
yes.
that's not our plan.
Yeah. So we come to analysis page. The eucalyptus hybrid is 625 US dollar something, and palm oil is 3,450 US dollar. Come to our Khajon Phuapong tree. This is 8,250 US dollar. How big? How big?
It's about 2.5 times the commercial value of palm oil.
And now, after last month, I have some conference in Malaysia with the governor of Malaysia. That we call for the world disaster, and they plan to replace palm oil in Indonesia and Malaysia. And our first project, will start there. Now, if we change our mind
we need to change our mindset.
Yes.
We need to stop thinking of the old ways of growing biomass and use this tree, I believe.
Yes, this is a eucalyptus universalis plantation. Now we get about 20 million hectare to plant it. Means 20 million hectare of eucalyptus hybrid. We can
worldwide.
Get worldwide. This is we can get a feedstock around 480 million metric ton per year. If we replace 50% of the plantation to become our Khajon Phuapong tree, minimum yield is 3,210,000,000 ton, right? What's follow if the yield like this? This is eucalyptus, 480 million ton in 20 million hectare. With Khajon Phuapong, 10 million hectare only. We get 3 billion around billion ton. What happened with this? If we use pyrolysis to change our feedstock to become biofuel and replace petroleum.
One of the benefits that we've skipped so far, I want to interject, is that since the time cycle for harvesting is 3 years instead of 7 years
yes.
with eucalyptus, there'll be a more secure rate of cash flow for the communities that are growing these trees.
This is a huge carbon sink project, and maybe this is only solution to fight climate change now. When we set up this project, means we have the huge carbon sink to fight. We create a lot of jobs, and as our staff said in the beginning time, that we create a lot of jobs.
I want to emphasize on this slide that this project is what we would call in the United States a B corporation. It's for the benefit of humanity. It's not primarily for the creation of profit, of wealth for a few people. This is to benefit the world. And that's very significant because the business model is for the creation of local jobs.
This is maybe this photo is to show you something. We reduce the social gap, some income, the highest income, and some low income.
Yes,
this
again,
project.
one of our aims is to try to reduce social gaps. And the world is recognizing that the difference between the richest and the poorest is one of the problems that's yielding strife in the world.
And this is, we know from the beginning time that this is world disaster victim every day.
We've got here the list that I dealt with at the beginning, plus at the bottom, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and tsunamis, which are tragedies that are happening, which we hope to benefit the survivors, to benefit those communities with this project.
Now we presented you, this is our project, we call it the Emission Zero Global. Now we set up the first demonstration in Indonesia to cooperate with the cooperative in Indonesia. Under the concept of 4 factors to fight climate change. The concept is to set up the carbon sink, to trap the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and then we change to become eco-energy by the pyrolysis and gasification technology. Then we set up the eco-industry to cooperate the system. Then a lot of people stay together. We create a new eco-city that is the real eco-city because of the source of energy is come from nature.
Again, side by side, managed forest with natural forest, and the same people who manage the forest are also incented to take care of the natural forest.
This is our location. Our area in Indonesia now is 7 million hectares. This is our Big Green Alliance, is cooperative producing in Indonesia. We just signed a contract. This is the first demonstration in the Maya Island. It's around 600 from Singapore in the ocean line. Yes, we will start after conference. We will come back and start the project. Okay, a lot of agreement has been signed before I come here, 2 months before I come here. And this is, I didn't come here to looking for the financial support or everything, but we just want to share. Maybe this is the right way to solve the climate change, to solve the energy crisis and the jobless and any economic turn down something. If we want to join, this is the right way. We have our partner, we have our location to prepare. Just come to see, come to join. We try to create that one world for every people. We start use more energy for better life, for our better world today. Yes, thank you.
And it's very fitting that we show as our last slide the roots of the project. This is about going back to our roots. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed and learned something from this installment of Climate Matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.